Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am very much hoping that everything is live and working. We are live on 3000 Base this evening. My name is KXVU. I will be the host for the next hour or so. Out to everyone tuning in nice and early. It's going to be a very enjoyable hour or so.
This is 3000 Base.
Live submissions here on the stream. Out to everyone who has been sending music in. We're going to wait a couple of minutes before we actually start getting stuff together and start listening through the music. As you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, we are going to be letting people know what tracks we are listening to. For those as well who aren't aware of what we're going to be doing on this evening's show, we are going to be looking through live submissions in regards to picking two tracks to release via 3000, either bass or deep. There's been a lot of people sending in submissions, a lot of people sending in previews, and to be honest, in general, it's been really, really enjoyable to look through a lot of the stuff beforehand. I don't really have many preconceived notions of what we're going to be suggesting to use essentially, so it should be quite an interesting stream. I'm going to be giving feedback on different releases as they come forward as well. So again, for those that aren't aware, this is a project that's been co-hosted by Underground UK, a really cool new group which I do happen to have a part in, open up on Facebook essentially, which is designed to be a place where people can share music, give a get honest feedback, as well as sharing music, sharing production tips, and in general looking around different things that that can advance their production. So if you head over to underground.uk, you can see how it's spelled in the on the bottom right? Is it bottom right? I'm losing track. I'm all back to front on my end. But yeah, on the bottom right-hand side, you can see that there. Head over to that group and you can actually see. That's how all of the tracks for tonight's stream were submitted. We're going to kick off in about 2 minutes or so. People who are locked in already, please make sure you are sharing the stream. I'm going to try and keep it as smooth as possible. For those who aren't aware, I do host a breakfast show for a day job, so it's kind of my job to try and keep things streaming as smoothly as possible. Out to Jake Compton, already locked in. Out to man like Damon, Simon, Brian, as well. We've got loads of good music to play for you this evening. A lot of it as well. A lot of these tracks as well, you have to remember, are works in progress. A lot of them are unmastered. A lot of them aren't finished yet. So let's be completely fair and be honest with them in the state they're currently in. Out to Florian joining us as well. It's going to be a very enjoyable show, this. I'm looking forward to it. We've been planning it for all week. It's been a very busy week. For those that aren't aware, you can check out my YouTube channel, Cubcam TV. That's youtube.com/Cubcam TV. We're streaming shows in the morning, looking at all different types of electronic dance music, as well as rap as well as just anything underground we kind of cover. That's 10 to 11:30 Monday to Friday. So we'll kick off in about a minute or so. I'm just waiting for the room to fill out. I actually need to share this myself. I'm trying to kind of multitask as much as possible, but I do ask anyone locking in, please do leave us a message in the chat just to get the conversation flowing to begin with. Let's have a little bit of a conversation. I want to know who are the bass artists or just producers in general that you have been feeling so far this year. There's been some amazing releases so far. I want to know in the stream, who have people been feeling so far? It can be on any level. It can be any producer around the world. I just want to know who people are feeling at the moment. In regards to people asking about the cap, I don't know if you can get these anywhere. I was quite lucky to get one of the original ones before they went. I don't even know if they've ever actually been on sale, but I was quite lucky to get one of the early ones a little while ago. And also the t-shirts. I think you still can get t-shirts. You should be able to see on the back. There's a really cool design on there. You can get them as well. Jesus, my barnet is looking completely out of whack, but there we go. That's why I'm wearing the hat this evening. So yeah, there's loads of stuff for us to look through. But yeah, just before we kick off, let me know who you are feeling at the moment. I'm quite keen to find out which bass artists people are feeling in the chat. Out to Nick joining us as well. Out to Harry Jeffrey Arundel as well. Yeah, out to everyone supporting the 3000 movement, man. Sammy Verges is kicking off. Yes, Sammy is kicking off, man. His album is very, very solid. We did a little review of it on the show this morning. Really, really cool. Really cool release. Solid garage album as well. Garage is looking very, very strong at the moment. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this onto my own page just so just so we can kick off properly, because I'm not going to start doing this properly without actually sharing this onto my own page. So there we go. Live now. What should I say, friends? What should I say? Live now. The 3000 submission sessions. Zero is also smashing it this year, I've got to say. Hosted by yours truly. I'm trying to keep this stream as professional as possible. I see a lot of YouTube streams where people doing feedback, and a lot of them are really, really useful. I'm just trying to make this one look as slick as possible. Nubase has some solid stuff. I have liked a lot of stuff he's been putting out this year as well. Come join in the fun. The fun. There we go. The people are starting to pour into the chat. Hello, new streamers. Please to make sure you are liking the page. As I said before, we're going to be looking through loads of new music that has been sent in, and we'll be picking two tracks to release via the 3000 Network live on the show. I'm going to be giving feedback. If anyone's wondering, the reason I feel qualified to give people feedback, I am co-founder at South Point. I'm the head of content here at 3000.co.uk in regards to all the written work and all of the reviews and stuff like that, and choosing what we put on the site. That's kind of my job, all the written side of things. As well as that, I work for Juno Download as one of the lead reviewers for bass, grime, garage, and dubstep, and also head up at Underground and host a breakfast show on Trickstar Radio. So there we go. They're my credentials. What we're going to be looking at first, though, is this first track from Hot Rod. This was sent in as one of the tracks that was submitted via Underground. So let's get into this one. If Hot Rod's in the chat, please let us know. I'm going to be letting you know exactly how we feel about this one in just a second. If he's not in the chat, if anyone knows him, please do tag him, let him know we're about to play his tune right now, and let's get into it. Oh yes, it's Friday night, so we are going to be having a bevy.
When we were 13, I remember the car rides, small fights, conversations all night. I never saw you as anything more than a friend, but now I see you in a new light.
He's in the chat. Cool.
There's a sparkle in your eyes that wasn't there before. You give me butterflies, it makes me want to tell you that
Intro is nice. I'm liking the garagey drums. Vocals nice, very spacey.
could have been. So baby, take my hand and let my love in.
Out to everyone looking in. I'm looking forward to listening through this one. Let's get it cracking. To listen to about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes of each one. If they grab my attention, we'll listen further. Right, we'll wait to see what happens on the second drop, and we'll go from there. Cool, I think I've heard enough of this one. Right, so Hot Rod. Overall, sound design, general mix down and everything sounds quite cool. I've got some issues with it and I've got some positives. I like the fact that the rhythms are continuously switching up. I think that's something that doesn't happen enough in a lot of bass tunes. I think a lot of the time people like to stick to this very flat kind of kick, clap, click, clap, and that's it. Nothing really in between, and any variation is very like on the odds when it's the 1 3 5. Everything's on very kind of like flat kind of timing, so it doesn't really have much swing. This definitely does have the swing. Kind of listening through, I need to turn my volume back up on here. I won't lie, I don't really think the intro works necessarily with the drop that happens with it. I really like the introduction. I think the intro is very, very solid. I like the airy drums. I like the fact that there is a lot kind of going on. There's a lot of different spacey kind of elements, and in general it sounds really nice. I think what needs to be done with this, if I'm being 100% honest, which I'm going to be on this stream, a few people might not like what I have to say, but I'm doing my job, you know? I've got to tell people how it is. I think, you see here, we go from this here, which is very, like, nice, rolling, UKG, like, nice ideas. Then we have this breakdown here. I mean, the thing is, it's not entirely diffused, but what I think it can be glued together a little bit nicely sonically. There's something that can kind of tie the two bits together. For me, it does sound a little bit like an intro and a drop from a different tune, which is exactly what I would like to see bass sort of steer away from. I like what the two different elements are quite cool. Especially, I like the fact that on this second section, I like the fact that you've gone for this very kind of old school 4x4 like Birmingham bassline sort of breakdown that they always used to have. Well, not always. They used to sometimes have them on like the third drop of a tune. They would have this weird kind of scat out, and I like that. I really like that element. I think more than anything, though, I think that it needs to be tidied up a little bit. I think the drums are the drum sounds are almost a little bit too flat for it to be working. That ride cymbal seems to carry on a little bit too long for it to necessarily work the way it should do. But yeah, not a bad attempt at all. That'd be my feedback for it, and we'll see how it sits in the overall running. There we go. How's everyone doing in the chat as well? I'm going to try and keep up with the chat. I've got about 60,000 different screens open on here. I'm used to just having the one, which doesn't necessarily. I'm used to just having the one screen with my YouTube window on and my music, and that's it. Whereas this, I'm jumping around different screens trying to read comments and stuff. So I need to make sure I don't double up on here as well. I'm going to be listening back to myself. Out to everyone in the chat right about now. Out to man like Marco. Hello, sir. Out to everyone supporting the 3000 bass movement. Did you not drink yesterday, Jay? I had a bev yesterday, I won't lie. I had a really busy day and I had a bev. I'm getting a takeaway tonight as well for the first time in like 9 weeks, I think it is now. So, to be honest, I didn't have a takeaway for a long time before that. But anyway, let's stay on topic. So yeah, that's my feedback for that one from Hot Rod. Let My Love In. Good tune overall. I just think it can be glued together a little bit nicer. So how long is this first one taking? This first one's taken about 10 minutes or so. So there what we'll do. We'll go through the ones that kind of made it to the top of the tree of the submissions. We did get a fair few submissions as well, I've got to say. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to play every single one and give feedback on every single one, but please do keep sending stuff into the 3000 channel. We're always checking the submissions inboxes. Well Alan is. Alan Bennett, who is in the chat, obviously the main honcho at 3000, and he's constantly looking at new music and stuff. So if you do feel that maybe your track was good enough and it didn't actually get mentioned, please do remember to send it into the 3000 address via the normal channels. And also make sure you're checking out 3000.co.uk. There's loads of good stuff going on there. So the next one on our list goes by the name of Untouchable. It's coming from someone called RWB. It's only the second one we've done. But anyone in the chat, if they know of RWB, if they know who he is, make sure you're tagging him, letting him know we're about to listen through his tune and give it some honest feedback. So what is the name of this tune? I believe it's RWB with Untouchable. Apologies for the slightly manual changing of things in that bottom left hand corner. We are doing things very kind of unusually here. This is the first time we've done this. There may be a few issues and hiccups going forward, but we want to make sure we do things properly. Let's kind of look into this one then. Untouchable by RWB. Let's get into it.
What? I want them dead. What? Dead. What? They got the whole ship. What? I want them dead. What? Dead. What? They got the whole ship. What? want him dead. What? I want that son of a bitch dead. I want him dead. Dead. What? I want that son of a bitch dead, dead, dead. I want that son of a bitch. What? Dead. What? Nigga, the whole shit. What? I want him dead. I want you to get this fuck where he breathes.
I'm quite liking this one, I've got to say.
Dead.
Sorry, I'm miles away from my camera.
What? Dead, dead, dead.
I like the fact it's quite minimal as well.
What? I want him dead. What? Dead. Think it's a whole shit.
I think we'll go same as before. Waiting for the drop, second time around.
I want that son of a bitch dead. I want him dead. Dead.
Enter the hi-hat!
What? I want that son of a bitch dead, dead, dead.
Tell you what, the progression on this is really, really nice.
What? I want that son of a bitch dead, dead, dead. I want that son of a bitch.
Okay, cool. I think I've heard enough of that one so far. I want to make sure I'm getting as many tracks in as possible, so I'm not going to be able to listen to the whole thing. There we go, though. Good tune. Really, really nice. These are the ones that kind of made it to the higher up on the list. When we're looking through them, I've had a brief listen and chosen the ones I prefer nearer the list, but I haven't properly listened for everything. This one coming from RWB. If you're in the chat, please do send us a signal. Just type the letters RWB. No imposters, no fraudsters, please. Out to everyone joining the chat as well. Out to GG, out to William Holmes, out to Harry again, out to Matt joining us as well, out to Nima in the building. Yes, Nima, what are you saying, bro? Out to Damon as well. Everyone enjoying the stream right about now. We're going to do these more. I don't know how regular we'll do these. Obviously, it's I have to make sure we've got enough music in and make sure it's enjoyable enough to do. But let's get into some feedback for this one. So RWB. Overall, again, I really like this one. I like the fact that it goes for a minimal approach. I feel that the drums match the kind of approach you've gone for with the bass sound and the lead. I like the fact as well that it isn't trying to be something it isn't, which sounds really, really dumb, but I'll explain what I mean. It isn't trying to be like a front row shack out skanking warbler. You know what I mean? This is a bit of a roller. It's a bit of a more kind of a subtle flex in the way it's put together. It's not necessarily all about like the jumping up and down. This is a bit more about kind of like a rolling atmosphere, which is really, really cool. I do like this one, I've got to say. The thing I was saying while it was playing was the progression. I really like the progression on this one. It seems to kind of naturally flow really, really nicely, which is nice. It seems to naturally go. The hi-hat injection on the second drop as well, really, really nice. Normally, I'd say as well that just a rolling line of hi-hats, I'm not that interested in hearing it, but the way the track ebbs and flows and goes backwards and forwards, I really like the fact those hi-hats do appear. And I like the fact they are quite mechanical. So the rest of it's kind of quite like loose, quite swampy, quite warbly. Not swampy in the way that the mixdown isn't great. But it seems to have like a quite like a luge approach. A luge approach. I've only had one. In the way it's put together, which is nice, and it's very kind of free flowing. And then you hit this very like robotic kind of with the hi-hats, and I like how that works. Yeah, I'm just gonna check and see if you are in the chat. Where are we at? Out to Dennis joining us as well. But yeah, I like this one as well. That'd be my feedback. What I would say with this intro section, with the main drop.
What? I want him dead.
I don't know if it's just me hearing that, but I'm hearing like it almost sounds accidental reverb. I don't know if that's there intentionally, but occasionally the bass notes tend to randomly reverb. I don't know if that's done by automation or whatever. I like the idea of it because it does add a little bit of differentiation between the notes and it makes it a little bit more interesting sonically. But I think it just sounds a little bit like it's been rushed. It doesn't sound like it's been properly kind of curved off, and it just sounds like it's very it sounds almost chopped off. It's like, oh, quick, we need to finish it and get it like that. In regards to the reverb part of it, so I'd say if that reverb gets fixed up, that might be in the running, I'd say. But there we go. Again, out to everyone enjoying the chat this evening. I hope this feedback is useful to people along the way. I'm just trying to check through and see how many people are locked in and where people are locked in from. Let us know where you're locked in from as well. Let us know about how your lockdown is going, whether you'd like to see more of these streams as well. I'm enjoying this. I don't usually get a chance to talk about bass music as much as I would like. My show normally is very much centered around kind of rap and reggae and dancehall and stuff like that, which I love as well. You've got to love all sorts of things that come from system culture. So let's have a little look through what's next on our list. Next up, we have a track from Baloo. Now, Baloo's a Brighton-based artist. I do know him quite well. I'm going to try not to be biased on this because I do tend to like the sort of stuff he does. An amazing DJ. I would definitely recommend checking out what Baloo does. On a general level. So this one goes by the name of Banton Bubbler. So I'm going to update the little thing here. Bear in mind, this is. Let us know how you're feeling about the stream as well. I'm really liking it, to be honest with you. I'm very much. I'm liking the way it's rolling. I like the fact that people seemingly are enjoying it. I hope everyone is taking the feedback I give as well, and hopefully using it constructively. Hopefully I'm not being offensive about people's tunes. I'm trying to be as constructive as possible in the way it comes together. But let's get into the next one on this list. Remember, guys, if you are locked in, please do share the stream around. If you know someone who is locked in and someone who sent music in, let them know that we are streaming now. They may have forgotten. And yeah, let's try and push the stream numbers up to 40. Let's get 40 people locked in so we've got a solid 40 consistently. That'd be really cool to do. Share the stream around, get it into some forums, get it into some posts, and get a conversation going as well. Obviously, this is a chat room. We've got a chat room going on the left or right hand side. I can't really tell where I am. So yeah, where are people locked in from? Someone's locked in from the Isle of Wight. Out to Alfie. How can I submit a track right now? Unfortunately, Brandon, you have missed the opportunity. You'll need to submit for the next one we do, which I don't know when it'll be, but if you join the Underground UK group, that'll be the best place to find out when the next one of these runs, because that's where we're kind of running them from. Out to GG listening in from Scotland, my guy. Love being Scottish. It's the best thing in the world. Out to Damon as well, listening in from Chester. Out to Brandon listening in from New Jersey, USA. We're going global, people. We are going global, and this is very enjoyable indeed. Out to all the locked in crew as well. The silent listeners, let us know where you're listening from, man. Let us know. And let's get into this next one. This one coming from Baloo. This one is Banton Bubbler. I'm expecting something good.
She's all
just realised my mic was down. Technicals and all that. Saying I am a bit of a sucker for a Buju vocal. And this is a real summer roller. Don't crucify me for my mic being down, okay? It's the first time we've done this. Right, okay, I think I've heard enough of that one, because I will listen to that the entire way through if I don't slow that down now. So there we go. Out to Baloo if on that one. Let's have a little feeling in the chat. How are we feeling about that one in the chat? I knew this would happen. I'm about a minute ahead, I think, than everyone else, and it's can't hear your mic, bro. Just the tune. There we go. Hopefully I fixed it by now. But there we go. That one coming from Baloo. Let's have a bit of a conversation about this one. Let us know how people are feeling about this one in the chat. This is a vibe, I think, this tune. This is my favourite of the selection so far, and it's not me being biased. It's because it's a bubbler, isn't it? Really, I think that's the best way to put it. It's quite lo-fi in the way it's put together. I think in general, the general layout of how it is it's not one that's necessarily designed to be clean cut. Like I feel the instruments are very kind of almost rounded off. They're almost like lo-fi-ish in the way they're put together, and I think the vocal as well works really, really nicely. There's a couple of mixed things which I'm a little bit concerned about in regards to the mix down. I feel it is a little bit muddy, and I understand that sort of sound it needs to be a little bit muddy, a little bit kind of a little bit unprocessed, because that's what gives it its kind of natural shake and groove. Instrumentally and compositionally, it's very, very well put together. It's got all the elements of a good garage tune, and that's really, really cool to see. However, I think it is a little bit muddy mix down wise. The low end is very, very loud, which is fine for this sort of tune, but I feel you need to kind of compensate for that by almost like chiseling the elements around it out a little bit more. I think overall as well, the vocals cool. Obviously we have to be careful with what vocals we release. Do you know what I would actually quite like to hear? I'd like to hear that, but with the vocal chopped and screwed, classic UKG style, like proper sliced and diced, thrown all over the place and used as almost like little stabs here, there and everywhere. That might be a good thing of what to do maybe if you wanted to push it further release-wise, pitch up and down, obviously, because you want to be careful with sampling these days. It's getting a lot more dangerous out there, people, and we don't want to be just sampling other people's tunes. You want to be getting original vocals, realistically. Come on now. Out to Bartek, locked in. Out to GG saying sunny day vibes. Out to Harry as well. Out to Damon in the chat. If you are locked in, please do let us know how you are feeling. Jump in the chat. Let us give us a couple of words. Let us know where you're listening from. Let us know which producers you're feeling. Who's heard the Sammy Virgi album? Because realistically, that's the biggest release of the day in bass music in general, which is definitely worth checking out if you haven't already. But yeah, overall, this is good, Baloo. This is good. It's in the running, definitely. It really, really is, and it's a solid piece of work. Out to everyone on the chat right now. Out to Enrique Gongora, a 3000 veteran at this point, constantly putting forward cool tunes, and it's really, really cool stuff. I've heard a couple of your bits, Enrique. Really, really. Well, obviously, I've written about them. But as well as this, out to Marco, who is Baloo, saying agree with you there. Need to work on the mix a bit. Legend. Thanks for the feedback. Going to need to revisit it. No worries at all. I hope, as well as I said before, I hope people are enjoying this feedback, and you can get a lot of feedback like this if you go head over to the Underground UK group and join that. We ask if you are going to join the group, however, that you do answer the introductory questions. I don't know how many times I need to say this. We've turned a lot of people away for this purely because they haven't answered the introductory questions. You need to answer the introductory questions to get into the group, because if you're not willing to kind of answer an introductory question, then how can we know realistically how likely are you to post responses on people's like feedback videos? You know what I mean? We want to make sure it's a very open group. But yeah, we go. Baloo, good stuff. Let's have a look at the next one on this list then. This one coming from someone called Kenty Clide. New name on me. I tried to keep us up to date with bass music as possible, but this one is a brand new name on me. So we're going to get into this one now. Just make sure my volume levels are set on here, and of course we need to make sure we're changing this name. I believe it's Kent. I need to. Well, give me a second here, people. Give me a second. What is it? Kenty Clyde Suspect. Okay, cool. Apologies if I'm spelling these wrong. Oh, apologies if I'm spelling these wrong. But yeah, let's get into this one. As I said before, people locking in, make sure you're sharing the stream. If just a subtle plug while I'm here, I may as well say it. Please do head over to youtube.com/CubCanTV. That's my channel that I've set up for lockdown. We do stuff like this on a regular basis, and we do it on the Breakfast Show all the time. Every Friday, Fresh Fridays, we review loads of new music, not just bass music, music across the board, underground in general. So let's crack on with this next one on the list we've got on here. So here we go. Kenty Clide with Suspect. Really beefy drums. Out to my partner in crime, Gunston, joining the chat as well. This is sounding really promising. Hit me with the pump fake there. I thought it was going out the blue.
Suspect is armed.
This is really cool.
Suspect is armed.
Getting them mixed up again. I'm not used to this. But yeah, I think we've heard enough of that one. Coming from Kenty Clide, really cool tune. This is my favourite of the bunch so far. I think this is my favourite of the bunch so far. Really, really cool. Nicely processed tune. Sounds very finished. It sounds very, you know what I mean? When you get a tune and you can hear it's packaged up, it's done, it's ready. Bam, there we go. That with a nice bow on top of it. Really, really nice. I like the fact this one's constantly evolving as well. I like the tune overall. Really nicely well put together, I've got to say. Drums, really well processed. Everything about it hits you. It's a punchy tune. This isn't like your sort of classic bass tune either. I'd say this definitely falls into that more sort of almost fidget kind of bracket with the way everything's very kind of like poppy. All of the punches are very kind of like... Can't believe I've just done that on the live stream. But you know what I mean. Everything about the drums seems to be very kind of impactful, which for a tune like this really, really works. And what I really like is when we get to this drop here. Let me turn this back up. It's got a really nice call and respond going on between that lead line. That sounds really nice. It's really nicely processed, really kind of a scrapey bass sound. And then you combine that with this really almost like softer, sub-heavy sort of bubbly sound. The back and forth between them works really, really nicely. I'm a fan of this. I really like it. And as well, I like this. I was worried the second drop would get a bit repetitive. My only advice on this one would be, my only piece of constructive feedback that I would say you'd need to change is this sound here. That kind of in the background, I'd say let that run a bit more thoroughly through this second drop. Bring it up a little bit more. Let it stand there, almost like the kind of the response to the call and respond, if that makes sense. Have it as like a secondary layer of melody which comes in behind. An issue I have with a lot of bass music is it's pretty much just bass sounds going back and forward with each other. This isn't like that, but I feel it could be taken to another level above this if you were to add like another get that melody, that melodic kind of stab underneath and have it doing a couple more things. That would be my feedback for this. But overall, really, really good tune. I'm liking this one a lot. Out to everyone in the chat right about now. Out to Ryan Walmsley. Thank you for the feedback. Oh, Dolly B. Nice to meet you, sir. Thanks for joining us today. As I said before, please do make sure you're sharing the stream. Get us across the timelines. We're going to do this every now and then. Do a bit of a feedback stream. And I'm enjoying it, to be honest with you. I'm really enjoying being able to talk about bass music, give some nice, honest feedback on these tunes. Obviously, we're not able to do every single tune we get sent in, purely because we've had a lot in, you know what I mean? Let's be real here, 3000 Bass is quite an established platform, so there's a lot of people who do send music in on a regular basis, and we've just picked out the top ones. I don't actually know how many we've got in total, but here we go. Next up on our list, I need to load this one in. Let's have a little look-see. I can feel my voice going as well. So we've got a track from Elk. I believe Elk is a Brighton-based producer. Yes, he is. Scott Claridge, I think his name is. Let's have a little look through this one then. I'm just going to change up this. This is the name of this tune. Here we're getting all technical. We're updating titles as we go. Yeah, that's where we are on today's live stream society. As I said before, please do let us know where you're listening in from. There'd be some really cool. It'd be really cool if we can get this stream seen by as many people as possible. As I said before, Underground UK is the place to go if you want to hear this type of feedback. 3000.co.uk is the place to go if you want to get musical news, primarily centered around electronic music and bass music in general. So let's get into this next one then. Elk, I hope you've sent me a banger, sir. I really do. We've only got about 20 minutes left, so we're going to listen to maybe two or three more after this, and then we'll finish up there and choose which tracks we're going to pick. And we'll be picking them live on the stream. So what we'll do is we'll set up a little group chat afterwards. If you can message the 3000 Bass page, if we do select your tune, we can organise a little group chat and go from there. And if there are any little adjustments that need to be made, then we can do that. So yeah, let's go. Immediate feedback thing, never start a tune with just kick drums. Never do that. If I'm being completely honest, it just means if a tune gets wheeled up, I'm going to pause this now. If you start a tune with just kick drums, all you're going to get when the tune wheels up is literally just a room full of people doing this. That'd be my immediate piece of feedback. Add something else in there, just an atmospheric kind of pad, something, so it's not just that almost quite monotonous. If I'm being honest, quite boo, 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 boo. Add something else in there. Get something else going on. Realistically, I don't know what the thing is. Is it a 3-second attention span as well? You want to capture people instantly, even if it's not the drop. You want to capture people with a tune. So I definitely say add something else into the beginning. I understand it's a techno tune and it's a 7-minute 13 long tune, but just have something else kicking off from the start. Maybe even atmospherics and just hi-hats at the beginning, because that is more encapsulating than just kick drums. The ideas are nice so far, but it just needs more variation straight from the off, I'd say. I'm going to turn my mic off temporarily so I can take this one in. I think I've heard enough of this one. And I know my mic was off. I can't remember what I said, but there we go. There we go. We're going to be taking this one in now. Overall, I like it. I think there's a couple of issues with it. It sounds a little bit dissonant. That's what the point I was making when the mic was off. In regards to the section in the middle, that's what I was coming up and down about. It just sounds a little bit dissonant. The synthesizer and the kind of pluck sound a little bit off. I think you can do something to glue them together a little bit more. They sound a little bit dissonant with each other. But yeah, overall, I like the sound of the tune. Apologies again about the mic being off. It's I'm getting used to this system. I'm used to having faders going up and down. And obviously, I'm using SoundCloud directly here. But a good workman doesn't blame his tools, so it's on me. I do apologise. But yeah, overall, I like I like it overall. I think there's room for improvement with it though. I think the mix down in general needs to be fixed up. It's a little bit dry, I feel. And I understand with techno you're trying to go for sort of drier sounds. You don't want it to be super over the top. But I think with this one the progression's there. But I just the intro with the kicks I think is a big issue, and I feel it's a little bit too repetitive in places. What I feel here is you've got like with this. That's essentially the same bar over and over again for an 8-bar loop. Like, I feel you can do so much more with that vocal. Maybe split it up, chop it up, reverse it. I feel there is so much more you can do with it. But yeah, I mean, overall, the tune's nice. I don't think it's going to make the cut today purely because I just generally prefer the other ones. This would be a tune for 3,000 deep, over 3,000 bass, however. But yeah, not bad. There we go. We've got 2 more to play, I think. We can squeeze in 2 more. Yeah, we can squeeze in 2 more. And then we're going to deliberate over a winner. So this next one comes from Samuel Hunt. I believe that is his production name. This one is Separations. So we're going to jump into this one next. Is it Samuel or Samuel? Let's do Samuel Hunt. And the name of the track, is it Samuel Separations? Okay, cool. Just hope I can spell. Oh, I can't spell. That's dreadful from me. Bass writer, me. That's what I do. Let's get into this next one then. This one is Samuel Hunt with Separations. Out to everyone locked in this morning. Not this morning. I'm used to doing breakfast radio too much. Out to everyone locked into the stream right about now. Keep it sharing around. And in general, make sure you are just commenting. Let us know how you're feeling about the tunes. Let us know how you're feeling about how each individual track is on the stream. I'd like to know everyone else's opinions as well, because obviously I'm going to be opinionated on things, you know what I mean? I have my own musical taste. I would like to see what people in the chat tend to feel about stuff as well. I tend to like stuff that dives towards a more sort of rhythmic bass and a more sort of generally around rhythm more than just sort of flat sound design. So I'd be very keen to hear if there's anything that I've said needs more rhythm, for instance, that other people are happy with it being very kind of flat in its structure. So we've got two more to play, as I said before. This one coming from Samuel Hunt. This one is Separations. I'm going to leave my mic up just so I don't keep doing the same thing again. Apologies for that again. I hope I've reiterated everything that I did say to begin with. It's the first time doing this. We're having fun. Melodies are nice. Nice chords as well. I like the fact those chords are quite understated, like they sit underneath. The sidechain nicely. This is nice. It's slow, but it's progressive. The chord structure reminds me of Teardrop by Massive Attack. I don't know if it's the same. I'm so happy the drums are a bit weird. Really like the drums. And again, there's little elements flying in. All of the instruments are constantly changing. I'd say that shake is a little bit too loud personally. It's a tune you get really, really lost in. I'm just gonna listen to see if there's a second kind of crescendo. Again, it's the constant evolution of the instruments that makes this really, really pop, I've got to say. There's subtlety, there's constant tweaking. This is my favourite of the selection so far. A couple of seconds left of that, but I'll tell you what, that was thoroughly enjoyable. If anyone knows of Samuel Hunt, get him in the chat right about now, because I want to tell him how good this tune actually is. I won't lie, progressive stuff I tend to struggle to get into because it's progressive, but what I like about this tune more than anything else is it kind of proves that you don't need progressive to be slow and boring. Everything about this tune is constantly changing. Everything is constantly either expanding or retracting or alternating. Everything about it is just constantly growing and moving and shrinking and expanding. Everything about it is always on the go, which means that even if the melodies are staying the same, which I believe they do for the majority of it, there's a constant difference. Like 1 second you'll be listening and then 3 seconds later it's the layout's completely different. I feel the introduction of different instruments at the right time was done very nicely as well. And yeah, in general I really, really like this one, which is weird for me. I'm not usually a deep tech sort of person, but for me this is my favourite of the bunch. This is, I feel, the most well put together of the bunch, which you just kind of assume for a well put together progressive tune. Compositionally there's probably going to be a bit more to it, but yeah, I genuinely really, really like this one. This was fire. Out to the locked in crew right about now. Out to Namina joining the chat, hello sir. Out to Ruben Rodway as well. Out to Tom Giles, apologies for like zooming in, I've got a light up there which my eyes aren't quite used to yet. And because of that, I'm having to squint to see what's on the screen because my screen's a little bit blurry on that side because there's just this big light in my eye. I need to get used to it. I'm new to this streaming YouTube-y lark. But yeah, there we go. That was Separations from Samuel Hunt. An amazing tune. Really, really happy with that one. So we've got one more to play, which I'm going to play in just a second. This one going by the name of, drumroll please, this is the last one we'll be playing today, so I do apologise, friends. Sorry it couldn't go on for longer. I do have other things to do. I've got party games and stuff. I do apologise. I'm a little bit of a party boy these days. I'm not going outside though. One thing now I'll say right here on this stream: stay inside. Stay inside. It's not that difficult. Henry Wallace, Curbs, and Jacklight is the final tune of this selection. This was the first track, I believe, to be sent in, so I wanted to make sure that we did push it because it was the first track that got sent in very eagerly. I know they got it finished up and ready and sent over straight away, so there we go. Henry Wallace, Curbs, and Jacklight on this one. Let's get into it and then we'll announce our winners. It would help if I turned it up, wouldn't it? A bit weird compositionally. There's a lot going on.
And I guess I get them all back when I drop my bars today. 1 decade I've been in this game, so I don't care what you say. Got flows on the weekends, weekdays we play all day. Shout out Kanye, scuffing the rhythm, I never miss a beat. There's a treat, as a Miki with me, go to infinity.
I think the vocal definitely needs work.
I never lost cred. When I wrote lyrics, my pen just bled. Sat for a bottom that I teared in shed. Never got a bad thought goes on in my head. I got hard songs for the man, them soft tracks for the
yeah, the overall mix on this does need a lot of work as well.
Yeah, so I get a go, got so many chicks who's hot. Like how you doing, honey? I'm just here to make some money. You can join me and my army. Grab a drink and have a party. I'm like, how you doing, honey? I'm just here to make some money. You can join me and my army. Grab a drink and have a party.
okay, immediately with this one, I feel there is far too much emphasis going on how mad you can make the bass sounds, rather than... As I said, I'm someone who prefers a bit of rhythm in what they're doing. The drums to me seem quite flat, quite in the background. Is that the Gangnam Style? So, hang on, one sec. Do you sample Gangnam Style? That's amazing. They said it couldn't be done, but it's been done.
Drink and have a party. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if this has been rushed in the master and mixdown phase, but there's a lot of crunching going on in regards to certain instruments and frequencies, pushing other things out the way.
I race to the top till I'm running the shop. Gonna get all I want till they're singing my songs. I'm hard when it comes to the bars like Nas Godson. When I'm sitting a mark, man, I made you look. Hard verse. I'm a star on a road that's Converse. Wow. Got a pool party, cool party. I got the coke, you bring the Bacardi. Finesse on a beat like Bruno and Cardi. Palm me, gotta be brave, come spar me. Cause I'm a rap dude in a bat suit, never like truth. I'ma stand on a relapse too. Got a nice girl in the back room, getting mad rude. Taking for some fast food. I'm like, how you doing, honey? I'm just here to make some money. You can join me and my army. Grab a drink and have a party. I'm like, how you doing, honey? I'm just here to make some money. You can join me and my army. Grab a drink and have a party. Blow, 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 blow.
Okay, cool. I think I've heard enough of this one. I've just seen that that's actually a sample out of Jack Light's verse. That's nice. I actually think going for original vocalists is by far the best thing to do rather than sampling little bits of vocals from other people. I feel with this one, the vocal does need work. I think the processing on the vocal isn't quite right for the type of tune. The bit I do like is when it goes, the vocal sort of goes a bit metallic just before the breakdown and before the drop. It has that kind of double up effect, which I really, really like. That definitely adds to the tune. I feel the vocals a little bit... rhythmically it's a little bit unusual, and it may throw a few people off. It threw me off a little bit, I feel. But yeah, the main thing with this one is all the sounds are obviously there. I feel for this one is a tune that may, if I'm being completely honest, it may be a little bit out of its time, if I'm being completely honest with you. I feel within bass music now, everything is moving towards a bit more subtle in the way it's put together. It's not about how raucous you can make something. It's a bit more now about how interesting you can make something or how vibrant you can make something. And I feel this one may have arrived a little bit late to market, if that makes sense. There's a couple of bits I really like about it. There's some cool sounds in there, but overall, to me, it sounds a bit like there's kind of too many different sounds kind of thrown into one mixing pot. If I'm being 100% completely honest, I wouldn't want to stand up here and say I really like everything about it, because then I'd be lying, and it's a, you know what I mean? I'd rather be honest with people. But yeah, there's things about it I like, there's things about it I dislike. I don't think it's going to be taking the release today. I mean, I can say now this won't be taking the release today. There's bits about it that work. I just think it can be stripped back a little bit and made just a little bit more cohesive, I think is a good word, because there's a lot of different things going on. They don't necessarily... Do you know what it reminds me a little bit of? Here's a cub analogy coming up, which I think might be a good way of putting it. I feel... It almost feels like loads of people who like the same thing have been put in a room, but no one knows that they like the same thing. And that's the analogy I'm going to leave you with on this one. That's what I get. That's the feeling I get off this tune. But yeah, there we go. That's the end of... That's the end of the selection. So I've chosen the two that I would like to put forward for releases. Let's get into them. So the first of the tunes we're going to be putting forward for releases. I mean, I think this one's quite obvious in there. This was my favourite of the selection in regards to releases. Samuel Hunt with Separations will be the first winner of releasing. So if Samuel Hunt's in the chat, please... I feel like I'm doing a school disco. If Samuel Hunt is in the chat, please hit up the 3000 Bass page. Let us know about this one, and this one is one of the winners. So there we go. Thank you for sending it in. It's a really cool tune. I definitely think this one fits really well on 3000 Deep with a lot of the kind of sounds that are going on there. And yeah, amazing tune. Really well done. Second tune from the list that we will be selecting And this, I won't lie, it's a toss-up between two. There's two tracks in here that I feel would work very nicely on 3000 bass as a whole. The first one of those is Baloo with Banton Bubbler, and the second one is Kenty Clide with Suspect. If I'm being 100% honest, I think one of them sounds finished and the other one does, and the other one still needs a fair bit of work. Compositionally, they're both very enjoyable pieces of music, but with that being said, I think this will be quite a giveaway based on the feedback I've given during this this session. We do have a winner, Kenty Clide with Suspect. So it kind of reminds me of Phlegmatic Dogs, however you say that name. I apologise. I don't know how to pronounce that. Phlegmatic Dogs. I think that's how you pronounce it. Phlegmatic Dogs? Phlegmatic? I don't know how you pronounce it, but there you go. There we go. We have our two winners. Kenty Clide is the other winner on today's stream. So if you can message the 3000 base page, we can get some group chats set up, and we can go from there. There may be a couple of edits we want to get made on these, just a couple of little bits, but these are the two tunes we feel have either the most potential or are the best tunes overall. And there we go. Thank you guys for watching this evening. This has been really fun. It's been a really enjoyable way to kick off the weekend. Essentially, it's Friday night, people. So I've got a couple of shouts out to make. As I said before, if you are interested in essentially getting involved with more feedback-based stuff, if you want to have people listen to your feedback, people listen to your music, and give you feedback on what you're doing. Honest, open feedback as well, with releases and like works in progress. And if you want some regular production tips, head over to the Underground UK base page, Underground UK production page. Sorry, it is in the chat. We'll post it again at the end so people are available to join it. If you want to join it, however, you must answer the questions. It's that simple. It is very, very simple. You must answer the questions when you join the group. Other shout-outs I want to say out to 3000 for letting me host this show. I've really enjoyed it. If everyone else enjoyed it, please do let them know. And we'll get another one sorted ASAP, essentially. If you have been listening in and want to send music in for my, I don't want to say expert opinion, but I want to say valid to an extent opinion on music, please do send it in, and we'll get another one of these organised very, very soon. This has been it's been an enjoyable session, and I hope everyone has enjoyed it. The final plug I am going to make on this show: follow my YouTube channel, youtube.com/CubCamTV. I run a breakfast show 10 till 11:30, Monday to Friday, organising loads of different interviews. You know what? I'm going to do it on this stream because I'm here and they can't shut me off, so I'm going to announce my show. Next week, we have Daya and Jemmy on the Monday. We have Smokey Bubbling B joining us on the Tuesday. We have Pelican and Kidda joining us on the Wednesday. We have Solector and Sangsa joining us on Thursday. And on Friday, we're joined by Kobe JT. That's over on youtube.com/CubCamTV. Brekkie in the Cave, 10 till 11:30. Go and subscribe to that channel. I'm going to put a link to that in the chat as well. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've really, really enjoyed doing this. Follow the 3000 base pages. Make sure you subscribe to all the channels at KXVU for everything that I do as well. And we'll see you next time. It's been a very, very enjoyable session. I hope you enjoy your Friday. Stay safe, stay inside, don't do anything silly, and see you later.
This is 3000 Bass.